And welcome back to the TV show, everybody. I'm Jay Black. Every week, joined by the great Rhea Hughes. Rhea, how are you?
Hello.
And the almost great Angelo Cataldi. How are you, Angelo?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Jay, because a couple of things I want to point out before we get this thing going today. One is, in the last 2 or 3 years that I did the radio show, for reasons that I could not really explain, every once in a while, I would lose my voice, almost in mid-sentence.
Yeah.
I developed a sign language with Rhea and Al, where I would do keep talking.
Right.
And here's the irony. Here's the irony of it. They never let me down one time, Jay.
Yeah.
And anytime, not Al, but anytime Rhea took over for what I was saying, it was better than what I was going to say. I just want that on the record, all right?
Thank you.
She carried me, this big, angly, big body for 3 or 4 years. And I just thought of it because I got the world's worst cold. I'm getting colds because all the babies are here and they are just a germ factory.
Yes.
Germ receptacles.
If I have a coughing fit or something else goes bad, just understand Rhea will be there to take over for me. And the other thing I want to say is I am on medication. However, Rhea,
Yes.
at the end of this show, I'm going to say something to you that I have not shared with you off the air.
Okay.
You will not believe, and I swear to God, it is the biggest change I have made in the 9 weeks since I retired.
And you're saying this on medication.
Rhea, this is bad. I'm embarrassed by it, but I just have to be honest because it ties directly into television. That's all I'm going to say. Jay, take it away.
That's what they call in the business a tease, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly.
Jay, I'm embarrassed to say it, but I have to be honest.
Well, right now, if you don't stick around to the end, I don't know what it is you're listening to because I'm excited to find this out. All right, guys, let's hop right into it. I think I wrote 9,000 words in the email to you about how annoyed I was at my least favorite person in television, David Zaslav. If you've been a listener of the show, you know that I am not a fan of his. He is the person who ran Discovery Networks. He bought Time Warner from AT&T, one disastrous deal into another disastrous deal. And, first he started stripping HBO Max of content. He went into CNN and said, we're going to try to appeal more to the right, more to real America, quote unquote, whatever that means.
Yeah.
And recently he just stripped HBO Max of HBO. Now it's just Max. Last week, there was a big press conference where they were talking about their plans. I believe those plans go into effect tomorrow. So if you're listening to this tomorrow, your HBO membership is going to be different. Guys, what did you think of HBO Max becoming Max? Is this a good branding decision on the part of Mr. Zaslav?
Well, here's what I will tell you. I did did a little homework for it. And their belief is that HBO is seen as like this racy, older kind of thing with no kids programming. So they want to bring the kids in because it's very clear. I mean, I know that's all Clark does is stream. And he does watch a couple things on HBO Max, but I thought, so you're going to call it Max and you think you're going to draw in kids with the Max when the people who kind of control the TV are the parents who know the brand in HBO.
Right.
And I just thought it was kind of stupid, actually.
My thought is they picked the wrong part of that. They should have kept the HBO because the Max reminds me of Cinemax.
Yes.
Which was affiliated and which was known in the 80s for softcore porn.
Yes.
And I don't really think I got to tell you, I did some research too, Rhea. This David Zaslav guy.
Oh my God.
He makes $3 million in base salary, which isn't outrageous for a CEO.
Right.
$22 million in bonuses.
Wow.
And another $120 million last year in stock options.
Oh,
right?
Jesus.
And there is no evidence that he has any idea what he's actually doing. And Jay, you know what? When this came up, I'm actually thinking of not keeping HBO. Because
really?
They're going to rate, what do they raise it to? $20 now.
Yeah.
So $19.99.
It's $19.99 for the 4K package. You can still get the
4K.
$16 for regular HD, not
Do you
4K.
need 4K, Jay?
No. And you know what? None of the streaming 4K is any good anyway. I got a 4K TV, and the first thing I did was go, all right, Netflix has this great 4K package. I'll pay the $2 a month extra or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm 46 now. My eyes don't work. Maybe if I was 23, I'd be like, wow, look at all this extra lines of resolution. I couldn't notice a single difference between 4K and I don't know what kind of lunatic is paying $4 extra a month for 4K, but apparently David, I make $140 million a year. Zaslav thinks that people are going to do that.
Jay, this got me to thinking why I want to, actually buy a streamer. And really now the number one reason is original programming and really good original programming. And HBO 10, 15 years ago were pioneers. Sopranos.
Yeah.
They had great shows. Now, a lot of people like Game of Thrones. That's fine. Hallelujah to you. Some people are enjoying Succession in its final season. Here's what they're coming up with. Rhea, tell me if this is creativity. They're doing another Harry Potter thing.
Oh, God.
It's like for 10 years? What's that deal?
It's a 10-year deal. They're going to do it in real time in the school. We're going to get to watch them go to school for 10 years. Great. I'm so excited.
All right.
Oh, yeah, that's what I want to watch, kids in school.
Yeah, and the woman Rowling, the author, she's got all sorts of issues politically. Let's hook our wagon to her again. That's great. They got another spin-off for Game of Thrones, even though the first one is not that successful. They're doing a spin-off via Batman. One of the evil characters in Batman was the Penguin.
Yep.
Penguin, they're doing a spin-off about the Penguin in Batman. What? They don't have an original idea.
No.
And one of the biggest streamers in the world, they got nothing new, Jay. They got nothing.
Right. And the thing about HBO, it wasn't even just that they had the best programming. They had the best programming philosophy, which was we're going to put on shows that we like. And if that show doesn't do well in its first 2 seasons, guess what? It's still getting a 3rd season because you're eventually going to find it. That's what happened with Succession. Nobody really cared about Succession until season 3. And now in season 4, it has become a much bigger cultural movement and people are going back to watch it. By the way, I love the part of the press conference where they asked Casey Bloys, the head of HBO. So is J.K. Rowling going to be involved in this? And he was like, it's her property. So,
really?
Yeah. So there's going to be, and like, he didn't want to say because he knows how damaged politically she is. This is that whole press conference and all those announcements was 100% a ploy to the stock market to please think we're going to be making money because we know we have a lot of debt to service for this terrible deal. So please understand, we're going with the hits. The only one I was really excited about was True Detective season 4 with Jodie Foster because I like True Detective and I love Jodie Foster. So I'm kind of excited about that.
It's another example of just trying to milk the cow for one more season.
Exactly.
Right.
Come on, come up with something new.
I have, all of my stuff on my streamers, and HBO Max is rarely one I go when I'm looking for something new. It's Netflix, it's Prime, it's Hulu. Yes. I go to a lot of other places. I don't think of HBO Max as somewhere I go for original programming first.
You're 100% right, Rhea. Apple Plus lately has been mine.
Oh, God.
I really like what they're doing right now.
And you know what Apple Plus is doing? The old HBO playbook.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. They hired a whole bunch of HBO executives and said, here's a budget, go make us TV and movie that we want to watch. And that's what they're doing. Maybe that's what we need. Not the guy who had 16 different home renovation shows on Discovery Networks running the premier TV channel of the last 20 years.
It's not going to work. He's going to get fired.
I will say this. I have to admit, I'm a little excited that I'm going to be getting all those home renovation shows with my HBO package, though. Oh, wow. I did like those shows. I got to admit, when I just wanted to have
them all the time.
Background TV, when I cord cut, Discovery Networks was one of the ones that I kind of missed a little bit. I'm afraid to admit it, but I do like
Oh, no,
having.
Discovery Plus is huge with me. I watch all those shows.
I like flip
Jay,
or flop. I
I'm
do. I
glad you
like flip
brought
or
that
flop.
up, Jay, because I might want to rethink the green in that room there. Just saying.
You know what? You're right. This whole room needs. I was actually planning. Now that the podcast is taken off, putting all my movies back there, like movie
Yeah.
posters.
Go.
I think
Yeah, that
that way
might be better.
we don't have to look at the green behind me. All right. This was a good conversation. I got to say, David Zasloff, if you're listening, just retire, please, for the sake of all of us. Now, we had talked a lot about Love is Blind,
Yep.
which there's a new controversy with Love is Blind. We can't get into that. We don't have time, but there was a controversy, the old controversy on Sunday. They wanted to do a live Love is Blind reunion show. And my wife, who was home, I was driving back from Myrtle Beach. She was ready for this. I mean, she had candles lit and wine poured. This was going to be her Sunday night. I think there's a lot of women around the country feeling the same way. And Netflix dropped the ball and then went to the bathroom on the ball because
It was unbelievable. I was on Twitter just doing some work for the show.
Sure.
And I start seeing it's not just women, Jay. There were like tons of guys, like celebrity guys who were all like waiting for it.
Right.
My favorite was they had Angelo. You reviewed this recently, Kerry Washington's show on Hulu.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hulu tweeted out at Netflix just a picture of her saying, I thought it was brilliant. They were making fun of them. You know, they didn't have these problems with Chris Rock when they did the live thing.
No.
Which leads me to believe they had so many more people because obviously Love is Blind is extremely popular.
Huge.
That if they're thinking that they're going to be able to do this with sports, they don't know the hell they will have to run if they ever screw up a sporting event.
But Rhea, the fact is that Netflix is not good at live television.
No.
Again, do what you're good at. Netflix. Give us the best movies, make good ones that we haven't seen yet, and do what? Stay in the lane that got you there. Live TV will not be something anyone is signing up at Netflix for. They're not. No. It's a dumb direction to go in.
They're looking for anything right now to move the needle on subscribers. They're at about 230 million subscribers, which, I mean, at $15 a month, that's a lot of money. Yeah. But they're looking for growth. And the two areas that they see growth potential in, the first is gaming. They want to be a streamer for video games, which, you know, Google couldn't make that work, but you go ahead and try to make that work, Netflix. I'm sure you'll be fine at it. And the second thing is live TV, live events, you know, presumably sports. And yeah, Rhea, I think you're right. I think Chris Rock, you know, you get 1 million people who watch Chris Rock, he can do that. If that was 40 million people for an NFL playoff game.
Oh my God.
Number one, I don't know if Google could do that, let alone Netflix. And you're right. If you think people are mad at Love is Blind, if you couldn't watch a playoff game that you had money on, you might go burn down the Netflix building. I mean, at that
gamblers don't handle that stuff well, in addition to just regular fans. So it's a bad idea.
Yeah. No. So the other thing is, I didn't send this to you. I just read about it this morning. Apparently, the Love is Blind people are suing the network. The people who were in it they were like treated poorly. They said that they were kept sleep deprived for the 10 days, like Guantanamo Bay inmates, because they were trying to make them so mentally broken down that they agree to marriage after 10 days. So you know what?
Sick show.
Yeah, it really is. And my wife loves it, which I guess explains why she married me.
Exactly.
All right. So Rhea, we missed Angelo did a good job.
Okay.
British television, but no one does as good a job as you. And people are really upset that they missed out on their British TV. What do you got for us this week on British Corner?
So I have something different from what I normally do. You know, I love the detective shows, the mysteries, murder mysteries, all that. I'm actually going to do a comedy, but it's more like a dramedy. It's a mix of comedy and drama. It's called Mom on Prime. It stars Leslie Manville as Kathy. Leslie Manville is a terrific British actress. She was in a show that I just recently reviewed, Sherwood. She's fantastic. She's a 60-something woman. Show opens with she's burying her husband, so she's a widow. Her 20-something son lives with a very pretty girlfriend who's absolutely the dumbest person you'll ever see on TV. Yeah, I mean, insanely stupid. She's got her former in-laws. These old people are so politically incorrect, and they're older. Like, I'm going to say they're around in their 80s. The woman does nothing but call her husband Reg a dick, like the entire show. Like, that's such an you're such a dick. And I'm like, oh my God, you don't normally hear that. And I normally cannot say that word.
Right.
But she's got a friend, an old friend who's been in love with her his whole life. Angela, the reason I think you will like it,
I do.
it's
Yeah.
awkward humor at its finest. I mean, there are
it.
some moments where I just cringe. It's so absolutely awkward. And then I'm laughing my ass off. So it's just her whole family. She's trying to gracefully ease into widowhood, and her family is just so nuts and
Where do we
so
see it?
crazy.
Where is it?
It's on Prime. So
Okay.
it's 3 seasons. I am just about to finish the third season, and I really like it. I mean, it's something that's kind of out of my comfort zone, but
like
I love her so much as an actress that I've seen her in a lot of stuff. I said, I'm going to try this out. If she's good, it's probably good. It's beloved in Britain. Absolutely love the show.
I just checked out Leslie Manville online. She's 67. She looks phenomenal.
Oh,
Yeah.
she looks great. And you know who she was married? I believe she was married to Gary Oldman like a long time ago.
Oh,
I
Really?
think so. I think I
he's
read that
weird,
somewhere.
man. That's
Oh
a
yeah,
weird
she was married 87 to 90 to
Yeah.
Gary
Wow.
Oldman. Missed out on his prime earning years. That's a shame.
Yes.
Took her 3 years to find out he was weird. Look at his movies.
I know.
Yeah. You want to say, yeah, a good divorce happens either 6 months in or 10 years plus. You
Yes.
got to either decide immediately what a lunatic or,
Yes.
oh, wow, he hit it really well.
Jay, I have a feeling that you're not the top expert on this show on divorce. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Probably. My wife
Yeah.
would probably be able to speak a lot about it. She's probably thought more than anybody after 18 years with this.
Yep.
All right, Teen Corner. What do you got for us this week, Rhea?
This one is really fun because on Easter, you know, we always do a brunch, and my brother and I had mimosas, so we were toasting. So my brother starts to tell Clark, you know why people always would do toast? It was in medieval, you know, it's like an urban legend. They would toast. So if somebody tried to poison somebody, their stuff would go into theirs and they'd, you know, whatever.
Right.
So it reminded us, my brother and I, of The Princess Bride. So we're like,
Oh.
Michael and I start doing lines from it. We're like, Clark, you would love it because it opens. It's a fairy tale about, you know, a princess who loses her, you know, love of her life, and she has to marry the evil king. But it starts with basically this young boy, modern day, is homesick from school. And I said, Clark, he's around your age. And I want to say he's like 10 or 11. And his grandfather comes in to read him this book, which is The Princess Bride. And then it goes back into medieval times. He was exactly like the kid in the book. This is boring. Why is there kissing? I don't like kissing. And then Andre the Giant and Mandy Patinkin show up as Inigo Montoya, and the whole story swashbuckling. But literally for days after we watched the movie, he was walking around going, "My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die."
Oh, that's
The
wonderful.
cool thing about this
Where is that? Where did you
the Princess Bride, it's available on a couple things. Disney Plus, if you have a subscription, which we do, you can purchase it on Prime, YouTube, or Google Play. It still has a 98% rating on
great.
Rotten Tomatoes.
It was
The
great.
cool thing about the whole Billy Crystal is in it. Remember, he's Mad Max, who they're
Yeah.
trying to get to make an elixir to wake up Wesley from the dead. Rob Reiner, who never does this, you know, he's obviously the director of the film, gave Billy Crystal and what's her name? Carol, who was in the what's her name? Oh, Carol Kane, gave them license over the 3 days they filmed to improvise.
Yeah.
So when you see that scene, how awesome and amazing it is, that, you know, they kind of improvised it. One other thing, during the pandemic, a bunch of stars got together and acted out The Princess Bride, like from their homes.
Yeah.
I just watched it this morning. It's Jennifer Garner's The Princess. It's hysterical. It's absolutely, they kind of just reenacted the big, you know, scenes from it. So The Princess Bride, highly recommend it. You can watch it with your, you know, 10-year-old till, you know, however old they are. It's a great movie.
So I'm a huge William Goldman fan. William Goldman, who wrote The Princess Bride, but
Oh,
also
okay.
wrote Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, The Marathon Man, All the President's Men. I mean, just a titan, perhaps the best Hollywood screenwriter of all time. It goes him one, me close two,
Oh yeah,
a
very
close
close.
second. But he wrote a book, Adventures in the Screen Trade,
Yeah.
about his time as a writer. It's a great book. One of the
Yeah.
things he talks about is The Princess Bride. And he talks about how The Princess Bride is still the highest scoring test audience movie in the history of
Yeah.
Fox. And this is one of those things where you go, what is the importance of good marketing? Which is this: they didn't know how to sell this movie because it's a romance movie, but it's not really a romance movie.
No.
It's an adventure movie. It's not
Yeah.
really an adventure movie. It's a comedy, but it's not really a comedy. All it is one of the best movies of all time. That's
Ever.
all it is. And you can't sell that to people. And that was sort of the conundrum, which is every test audience rated it through the roof, 98% still on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yep.
But no one knew how to sell it. It wasn't until home video and cable that people came across it. Nobody went to go see it in the movies. It was a flop, and it was a flop that became a classic. So I always try to say, yeah, oh, it's great. That
Great movie.
the marketing people, for as much as they're derided, they do have some purpose in trying to figure out how to get you
Yes.
into the theater. All right, Angelo, what is your pick this week?
All right, we have now reached the medication portion of the podcast. If you would please direct your attention to Rhea Hughes' face when I tell this story of something I have become obsessed with, which for 33 years I did nothing but complain about. About a month ago, my 2-year-old grandson, I'm bonding with these kids a lot more now that I'm retired. That's awesome, even though they keep giving me their colds. But we bonded over golf.
Golf?
No, you know how little kids watch stuff on the computers? All
Yeah.
he wants to watch is golf. And
No
all
way.
he really wants to see is the ball go in the hole. Then he yells, "It's in the hole! It's in the hole!" And he's so happy every time it happens.
Oh my God.
He's over on a Sunday, and we put it on. It was the week before the Masters, whatever tournament that was. And we're watching it. And I'm still watching it when he leaves.
Oh my God.
Then the Masters.
No,
I watched
you did
4
not.
hours of the Masters.
You need a hobby.
The boy, Dash wasn't here Sunday. I watched 3 hours of coverage of whatever the tournament was after the Masters, because it went to a 3-hole playoff. Rhea, I was riveted by golf.
That's impossible. You did nothing but mock it for 30 years.
This is horrible. I feel like I have to issue an apology or something. And I'm going to watch. This must show you I'm old. I plan now to be watching golf on weekends. I'm not proud of it. I don't feel good about it. But
you need to unretire so you can go back to ripping golf.
I'm not unretiring because I'm dedicating my life to golf.
Oh my God.
I tell this to my son, Neil, and he goes, "Oh, Dad, I got a show for you on Netflix called Full Swing. They take you inside the golf tour."
Oh, God.
I have watched the first 3 episodes, and I love it.
No way.
Not real. Full Swing, Netflix. It's the life of these rich golfers.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I'm hooked. I am now.
They must have their hot girlfriends and wives in there.
Well, I can't deny, man. Really, what's that about? These guys attract beautiful women. But anyway, I guess because they make like $1 million when they win a tournament.
Right.
Anyway, Full Swing, Netflix. I'm a golf enthusiast. I say that with no pride, but I'm into golf.
Wait, Angelo, is Full Swing? I'm sorry. Is it a reality show or is it like a
behind the scenes?
Behind the scenes.
The one they did on Formula One.
Okay, gotcha.
People do it. They take you into the lives of the people from tournament to tournament, and you get to see what their lives are like. And since I now love golf, I'm learning more about Jordan Spieth.
Oh my God.
It's awful, Rhea. It's awful. I feel terrible.
Very sad.
Very sad.
All right. I have a review, and I'm trying to get the exact name because I'm going to mispronounce this guy's name. So there is a show on Netflix Freevee. You can watch it on Prime Video, but you can watch this. This is their version of Prime Video, not Netflix. This is the Amazon Prime version that you could watch with commercials if you don't have Amazon Prime. It's called Jury Duty. It stars James Marsden. It is a throwback to old kinds of reality show mock shows. You know the one I'm talking about? Have you heard of this, Angela? It is.
I watched it.
You watched it. Okay. It's fun, right? It's a fun.
Jay, I wanted to hate it desperately.
Yeah.
Because there's literally 50 people, maybe more, who are all actors, all doing it for the benefit of one poor sap who is on the jury and thinks it's all real.
Right.
And the whole thing is fake.
The trial's fake. The judge is fake. The other jury members is fake.
The only thing I hate about it is that it's on Prime Freevee, which you have to watch the commercials.
Right. That's
There's
the only
no
bad
way
part.
to see it without commercials. But James Marsden is great in it. He's phenomenal. This is not scripted.
Nope. He's
so
playing
one person. There's only one person who doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, and you know what? The thing about the guy is he's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah,
like you really like him.
Yes.
He doesn't come off like a jerk. He just comes off as this chill guy who's reacting to all this craziness in maybe the best way possible. James Marsden plays a version of himself.
Yeah.
Where he's the worst version of himself. He plays a very egotistical actor named James Marsden. And it reminds me of like when reality TV first hit, they had those wave of shows like Joe Millionaire. And
it's good.
This is a good version of it. Yeah.
It's funny because here's the thing. It's going probably 5 or 6 episodes at least.
Yeah.
There's only one big moment, the reveal. Right. Other than that, they're just going to string them along, but they managed to do it very effectively. I thought it was good.
And I want to say, and I have to say this pleasantly.
Yeah.
It is not cruel in any way,
I hate
which is important. It's like they don't it's not like they're putting him, it's not like a Nathan Fielder kind of thing, wait, is that his name, the one you like, Angelo?
Yes, Nathan Fielder is phenomenal.
But it's not like that where you feel uncomfortable for everybody. It's a pleasant show, and I got to give all credit to my wife. She was the one who said, hey, I'm watching this show, you got to watch with me. She says, you never give me credit when I choose a good show. So,
hold on, Jay. I'm going to tell you why. Just between us, I wouldn't say it on the podcast, even though we're on the podcast. He's watching it for James Marsden. That is one very good-looking guy.
He is.
Cheekbones for days.
Mackerel, how good-looking that guy is. Yeah. Wow, what is that like?
That's a guy that as you walk through the mall, someone goes, you should be famous. And then a week later, he's famous. And you go,
Exactly.
All right, real fast before we do the recap, I just got to check in, Angelo, because you said you're watching Succession. Did you watch episode 4 and are you still loving the show?
The minute it was on at 9:00 Sunday, I was watching it.
What was your thoughts?
The patriarchs, the developments in the patriarch's life or lack thereof.
Yeah.
I don't want to give anything away.
No.
Now I have a new dilemma because I'm hooked. What I like is I like the fact that every person in it is horrible.
Right.
Oh, that's why I can't stand it.
No, I love it. Now, Rhea, this guy, the guy, his brother played. It was very famous. Home Alone. Who's that guy? He played. I don't know.
Kieran Culkin, the Roman.
Tremendous in it, in saying obnoxious things beautifully,
wonderfully.
And I got to tell you, there's not a good person in that show.
No.
Rhea, now I have to figure out how to binge a show while I'm watching the last season of it. This has never come up for me before.
Well, you have a lot of free time.
Yes. Cancel your golf plans for the weekend and watch 4 hours of Succession.
Okay. Again, maybe it's the medication. You were right. It's a hell of a show.
I'm so excited. It's so good. I'm so glad you're back on board. You're going to love it. And all the stuff that you're watching now and that you really enjoy, all of those relationships, like the Stewie and Kendall relationship, all of those seeds are planted in the first season. Jesse Armstrong, there are very few geniuses with a capital G out there. Jesse Armstrong's one of them. So I'm glad you're on board, Angelo.
All right, let me go through this. As of tomorrow, you can watch HBO Max, but it's just Max. We
So
also
stupid.
have Mom on Prime. Rhea endorses it. Great British show. We've got Princess Bride on Disney Plus and other places, but the other place you got to pay for it. Full Swing is on Netflix. We have Jury Duty is on Freevee on Prime. And by the way, Succession is, as of tomorrow, not on HBO Max, just on Max.
Guys, thank you so much. Rhea, so happy to have you back. If you've enjoyed the show, please leave a comment on the YouTube channel or on Apple Podcasts. Please rate and review us because it really helps people find us. Tell a friend. We're growing. I didn't tell you this at the beginning because I wanted to surprise you. We were #2 in Norway this week.
I
The
knew it.
Norwegians love us. I
Rhea,
guess
that's Rhea. She looks Norwegian.
Blonde.
yeah, they're probably watching going, hey, one of us is on there. So the show's really growing. Please help us spread the word. And Angelo and Rhea, I will talk to you guys next week.
See you guys.